Thank you, everyone. If you are as old as me, you probably realize that the world moves a lot faster than it used to. And sometimes it's a little bit crueler than we want it to be, right? I think back like 20 years ago, in the late 90s, the internet was just really becoming a thing. Like, you'd only think I'm going to turn to it and look something up, right? And then 10 years ago, I just heard this like a couple weeks ago, the iPhone just turned 10 years old, right? Which is amazing to think, because already I'm feeling nostalgic for those moments when my kids would say, "Dad, if only there's a device you could hold your hand and look up whatever you wanted." Every time I couldn't figure something out, right? But that seems so far in the rearview mirror. But when the world feels too fast to me and too crazy to me, I do like to get back into nature. And my place for that is Valley Forge National Park. I moved back to this area 19 years ago now, just about, and I've probably been there 500 times. And I hike on the trails, I hike off the trails, I hike everywhere throughout that park. And it gives me a nice peaceful feeling, right? I like to do that, especially when I'm feeling the weight of the world on me. Around 2 years ago, my wife said, "What can I get you for your birthday?" And I'm normally the guy who says, "I don't need anything," whatever, a shirt, right? I'm not very good at this whole thing. But 2 years ago, when she asked me, I said, "I want a camera." And I said it right away, and I said it definitively, because I wanted to start taking a camera to Valley Forge Park with me, and I didn't know why. I just wanted to do it. So I got a camera, and I brought it to Valley Forge Park, and think of that beautiful arch, and maybe the sun coming up in a nice panoramic view. That's not what I started taking pictures of. I take pictures of small things close up. If I can find an insect, if I can find a bird, a flower close up. But what I like taking pictures of most close up is weird things I find in trees. Tree bark. I find designs, I find shapes. And my second favorite one of those, I call the ballerina. I actually have it hanging in my house. And there were roots from a tree growing up the side of the same tree, like some kind of vine or something trying to take it over. And it looked perfectly like a ballerina arch. And the body proportions were perfect. And the muscle was perfect, the arch of the spine. She was naked, by the way. But everything was perfect on it. And I printed it out and I put it in a frame. A couple of weeks later, I was at Valley Forge Park, and it was a rainy day, and there's like a misty kind of fog ahead of me, and I saw some sort of yew tree, like red trunk with green stuff on it, and it was a perfect shape of a female butt in like full waggle, right? And I got a nice picture of it, better than I thought I would when I got home and I saw it, and I called Beyonce, right? And that's what it looked like. 2 weeks ago, I travel with this now. I was on vacation in Boston, and I was at a nature reserve there. And I was in the woods early in the morning with my camera, and there was a white birch tree, and either someone or something had shaved, I don't know if someone was running there, shaved part of the bark off, and it looked like a perfect female body, except it had a bulge where a branch was trying to grow up in this area, and another bulge back in this area. So I took a picture of the rare New England Kardashian birch. And at this point in my story, I'm reminded of an old joke that I feel like I need to tell. There's a psychiatrist working with a patient, and he pulled out a deck of Rorschach cards, and he handed the guy an ink blot, and he said, "What do you see?" And the guy looked at it, he said, "A naked brunette." And he took the card back, he said, "Okay." And he handed him another one, he said, "What do you see?" He said, "A naked blonde." He took the card back. He said, "Okay, now what do you see?" He said, "A naked blonde and a naked brunette." And the doctor pulled all the cards back. He said, I need to tell you, you're a really sick man." And the patient said, "I'm a sick man? You're carrying around the pictures of all the naked women?" The point is, not all the things I see in trees are naked women, right? I got a really cool picture of Adam and Eve, which is probably a bad example because they were naked too, but from the waist up. And I call it the tree of knowledge. But I have gotten a picture of Buddha, young Buddha, not the big fat jolly Buddha, but a young stiff-backed Buddha that I got a good picture of. I got a picture of a whale. It was a tree that had fallen down across the trail, and it had rotted to the point where it had a big smile on its face and a blowhole in the top, and even barnacles all over its underside, whatever was growing there. So I walk around in nature. I got an angel that was made out of fungus on a locust tree, right? And it perfect wings out and everything like that. So I walk around close to trees off the trails taking these pictures. My favorite picture I ever took, I call the Metropolis. And someone had tried to saw a tree down in Valley Forge Park, and you can see the point. Just when the tree fell, everything was a clean cut except for this very jagged part at the edge. And the way the lighting hit it and the angle I got it at, it looked like a city. And there were 2 tall buildings off to the end. And there was one tall building around 3/4 of the way up that had a needle nose on the top of it. And it looked like Manhattan. And that brings me full circle to my story here, because I keep that picture at my desk at work as a reminder. On September 11th, 2001, I was on my way to the World Trade Center for a business meeting. And I was on the last PATH train they did not let into the city. However, from that train, I watched the South Tower fall. And it was one of the most painful things I've ever seen in my life. And when I got home that day, I immediately got changed and went to Valley Forge Park and walked around looking for small things of beauty. Thank you.